going to show Excel introductions and few more advanced functions. How can we use in Excel? So as we know that Excel is very important one tool for us for day-to-day operations in our office and any other work. It is very useful function, useful application. There are many functions and many tools add-ons available for this applications. This Excel we can use for simple calculations and as well as we can use for advanced data analysis purpose also. It has many things. So let us see the basic idea about the Excels, how to use the Excels for our day-to-day activity. Let me introduce the Excel workspace. The Excel workspace, when you open the Excel, you can see there is a menu bar at the top. In each menu bar, there will be a few options you can see at the bottom of the menu that you can use for some purpose. So let now after this menu bar there will be a name box and formula bar. What is the name box? When you choose any one particular cell, you can see the name of the cell. What is this? B4. B is the column name, 4 is the row name. Here in Excel, all the vertical lines we called as column. The column as an defined by the alphabet A, B, C, D like that, and the horizontal line we called as a row. The intersection of rows and column we called as a cell. So each cell have a name. Example: this is B4, B1, B2, B3 like that. You can also change the name of the particular cell. Very simple. You click like you can change as tax. So now the B5 became a tax name. So whenever you type tax, it refers to B5 area. So you can also change the name of the cell by typing the name in the name box. You can also manage the name. I will show you later how do you manage the name. Next, you see the formula bar. In formula bar, usually you can type the value here. The same will appear in the cell also. Suppose if you are typing a formula, how do you know the formula? You can type the is equal sign, start with any formula that you enter that will be considered as a formula. You can see here only the answer, but in the detailed you can see the formula. So that is why we called as formula bar. You can also edit this formula bar. Don't edit directly. You press F2. The key will help you to edit your formulas. So F2 function key that will help you to edit the cells. So next we will see the another part. What are the basic things available in Excel? Okay, let me start the simple calculation. How do we do that in Excel? So before I going to start, I'm going to add a new sheet. You can click by this plus button. There will be a new sheet will be added to your Excel workbook. So before I'm going to show you the simple calculations, you can also format your cell. For example, I'm going to enter the roll number of the student. I'm going to enter mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. I would like to find total, average, and result. This is the one that I want to find out. So let us see there is a roll number. I can't see the full things. It can't. It disappear. It's not disappear. The column width very minimum. So you have to expand the column width as much as you want. And similarly for all the column, you can adjust by like this way. You can adjust or you can go to home. There will be a format. There will be a column width row height. There are two things you can do this. And also you can set default width for it, auto fit right. That what will happen is based on your content, the column will be expanded. The content is less, automatically the column will sync as per your content in the column. Okay, let us go with another format is you can select the entire data set area, and you see there will be a border, so you can set all borders. So unless you don't get any border on your paper, then you take a printout. Okay, let us see the roll number. So I can enter the roll number. I can enter the roll number like this. Okay. I have 10 students. I'm going to enter the mark of the 10 students. I'm not going to enter all the 10 student mark right now. I'm going to enter the first student mark randomly. So as a teacher, I want to find the total of the 3 marks. It's very simple. You can do calculations. You take a calculator, you can add 34 plus 56 plus 78. You will get the answer. Okay, if you have one student, you can do that. If you have 150 students or 200 student or 500 student, 500 times you need to use the calculator. But what is the beauty of the Excel is you can define a formula in a particular row. You can apply the rest of the column or rows wherever you want to apply the formula. So within a fractions of second, you can find the answer for 1 lakh rows, 10 lakh rows, 5 lakhs rows, whatever you want, you can find it out. Okay, let us do how to use that things. So you can use two functions. One is you can use equal sign, you can use sum. This is a predefined functions. I can use the number what you want, b2 comma c2 comma d2, because I have three subjects. So all the three subjects value I put in the comma separated, and you can see there will be answer, you can get it. It's very simple functions. Sum is a very useful functions which you can use to add the all the subject total. Suppose I have 110 rows. I don't enter all the 10 rows. You don't want to enter all the 10 rows. You just put starting and ending of the column name. So if you put it with the colon symbol, which you understood, include all the column from B2 to D2. Okay, so either you can write the individual column name or you can define like this. So both will show you the same answer what you want to get. Okay, the advantage is if you want to ignore any particular column, you can use like individual things that will help you to ignore it. Okay, or if you want to include all of them, there is no restrictions at all. You can use b2 colon b2. That will be ideal, that is suitable for you for calculating this. So once you've done it, you can apply the same thing for rest of the columns, rest of the rows. You can have the cursor like this, you can drag like this. So now what happened, before this there is empty row, when I apply it, so now it all becomes zero because there is no value that was showing the answers. So when I start entering the value, you can see the answer immediately because we already apply the formula in the rest of the row. So that is the beauty of the Excel. So you can apply or you can write a formula in a particular cell that will create the impact of rest of the rows or columns. So how do we do that? Again, I repeat how do you do that? You can drag. So you may see like this answer like this. So another one thing is you see here I have used the formula sum bracket b2 colon d2. What is this? B2 is a row name. Otherwise we called as a relative reference. The reference we called as relative reference. Why I'm saying this word very important. I'm saying that the important is when you apply the formula, you see what happened the next row. You see there will be yes b3 d3. I have not entered the b3 d3, but it automatically taken. how it automatically taken, because here I am using relative reference. What is the relative reference? The reference which automatically change to move to right or left, down or up, it's automatically change. That's what we called as relative reference. It's a very important one, reference. We have another reference we have is absolute reference. What is that absolute reference? Let me introduce it. Suppose all the students have a common subject, that is common mark. There is common, common things, components. 10 mark. I want to add all the students. So what I do, I can see the common mark for all this. You put plus dollar H $2. There is a common mark for all the students. So you may get this answer. So the rest of the row I can type. So you can see there is a 10 will common. So it won't change. So when you look at this, the H2 is always remain the same for all the rest of the row. So what is it? This is we called absolute reference. Suppose any mark is fixed for all the student, or percentage or anything is fixed, you can use this dollar sign in front of the column name and row name. Okay, so this is we called absolute reference. Absolute means it won't change. Suppose I'm getting frustrated to use a dollar sign and all. Next, I give you the short way you can change its name. This is mark, mark, marks like that. So you can type instead of this H2 like that, you put marks. So the same thing we will get it wherever you apply. So you see there is a marks. So instead of typing the absolute reference, you can use this name for a cell that will easy to for us. So how do we manage the names? You can press Ctrl F3. So you can get the name manager, and you can manage the name, and anytime you can modify. Okay. So similarly, you can also find the average. For average, you can use equal to average. We put B2 colon E2. So we get average for all the subjects. So now 0 because we don't have subject at all. So equally you can get that average for all the students. Okay, so now I'm going to show you result. How do we find the result in Excel? You can find Excel result. You can use one of the important function is if conditions. So you can write if we open parentheses. Here we have a logical test that is be called, and see there is a mark. Each subject I say P2 greater than or equal to your minimum mark. C2 greater than or equal to the minimum mark, and D2 greater than or equal to minimum mark. Now, all the subject we have the minimum mark. Let's say Excel to print this text. Otherwise, the text will print Excel will print this. It's false. Any one of the conditions failed, you may see this answer failed. So the student is failed. So why? You see that mark is below number. So when you put 56, it pass. So when you put 23, it became fail. So the thing is very important. The student, if you are not scoring minimum mark, says fail. So that is a advantage of the Excel. So when you define a formula, it's a very simple. This is if conditions. Usually, if how do we handle the if conditions? There will be a one positive answer, other is negative answer. So when you define the if conditions is equal to if, put the conditions true answer, comma false answer. This is the way you define. But this case We don't have a single conditions, we have a multiple conditions. When you have a multiple conditions, you may use a logical operator, logical test, that's called AND. So what is it? B2 greater than or equal to 40 and C2 greater than or equal to 40 and D2 greater than or equal to 40. So all the subject equally, we checking all subject should have minimum or more than minimum. If it is all satisfied, we say pass. If any one of them are saying that not, we say the fail. So this way you can find the result for the student by using if condition.